I.O.W. Sports. I.O.W. Sports. I.O.W. Sports. I.O.W. Sports. I.O.W. Sports. Boy, that damn guitar be plucking on that damn thing. Anyway,
Right.
Chit. It's your boy Walkamar in the building. You know who that guy is.
What's good?
Detroit Mail, the man with the Grandmaster plan for I.O.W. Network.
Yeah.
Wonderful Monday. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Down in North Kakalaki, we here enjoying some great weather. So it's some great weather. So I might hit the barbecue grill a little bit later on. I know.
Break out that grill.
But let's get all the preliminary shit, all the shit that pays the bill. Preliminaries out the way. Y'all going over to the website www.IOftenWonder.com. That's where you get all the information of anything I.O.W. Network related.
Right.
All the shows, I.O.W. Sports Show, which you're watching right now with us, I.O.W. Sports Late Night Owl Edition with your boy Walkamar at night.
Right.
Of course, I Often Wonder, the podcast that started all the brainchild of all this I.O.W. Network. Of course, we got contributors from my boy Philip Riddick.
Right.
Our Bob Daddy Cooks.
Right.
Our boy L. Jeffrey Moore coming through with LJ Presents.
Bam.
And a whole list of other content that is coming your way. Stay tuned. I'm telling you. Oh, and of course, most importantly, if you are an Apple or iOS user,
right,
go on over to your Apple store. Download the app. The I.O.W. Network app is up, it's running, it's kicking, it's live, and it's hot. We got a lot of content on there, a lot of stuff that has been added for a lot of independent artists,
right,
that have been featured on the shows. Some majority of them have been featured on the show, so you can always go check out their content, and of course, go support them as well on their own personal pages. So now that we got all that out the way, yeah, I think we got it all out the way. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Look, great, crazy weekend of sports,
right.
Jam-packed with sports. But the biggest thing we need to discuss out the way is that damn KD came back. Kevin Durant came back.
Right.
And damn it, he don't look like he missed not a nair beat, not a nothing. How does this man keep coming off an injury and just come back like, hey, I'm back next.
Back, you see me?
Yeah. So I mean, I guess he's okay.
Seems to be all right to me.
I guess he's okay. So of course he logged 28 minutes, went 12 for 21, 2 from 3 from downtown, 7 and 8 from the free throw line. Grabbed 6 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, even threw in a block. Most importantly, 33 points.
Gee whiz, Wally.
As the Brooklyn Nets defeated the Phoenix Suns 128-119. My goodness. Okay, so that throws all my damn all my shit I had to say about the Nets last week. That throws it right out the window. I mean, because Kyrie threw up 30 plus.
Right.
And then KD comes off the bench and does that in 28 minutes.
Hey, looking good, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I mean, hell, it's so unpredictable right now with the whole. I gotta say this about the NBA. I've never seen so many injuries to starters, and it's not just.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, it's not just one team. It's like across the whole league,
right?
And I don't know what you contributed to. Of course, the shortest offseason in NBA history, pretty much 71 days from the last game of the NBA Finals, Game 6, to the start of this season in December. So, of course, it's the shortest offseason. I don't know if that is a contributing factor. I don't know what it is, but it's like, we know what the injury troubles with the Nets.
Right.
The Lakers' injury issues been well documented.
Right.
Joel Embiid for the Sixers been out. I
Right.
mean, Ben Simmons is not even playing tonight. I mean, he had an illness, but he's missed time. Trae Young just went down for the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
LaMelo Ball just went down for the Hornets about a month ago.
Right.
But he's actually scheduled to might even come back, which actually helps them
Mm-hmm.
because the Hornets are still in playoff contention. I mean, Donovan Mitchell for the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers, they, you know, if it ain't Paul George, then it's Kawhi, or they flip-flop back
Right.
and forth. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course, Jamal Murray with the Nuggets. Injuries has been crazy.
Brian.
Yeah, I mean, throw out a big name.
Right. Just throw a name out there. Pull one out the hat, nigga. That nigga injured.
Yeah, he injured. but it's not many
Mm-hmm.
like KD and LeBron that are coming back from injury.
Right.
That just, you know, nothing. I'm still that nigga. You know, like,
still that nigga.
Still,
nigga.
Still that nigga. I mean, what do you do with that?
I don't know, man. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, now, is it something that we just never paid attention before?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it seems like it's a lot more, or is it really just a lot more injuries than usual? You know, because sometimes when you look at stuff, you know, things look different, and then you go back and really view it. You're like, oh, okay, it did happen that way. It just seemed different because it's like in our face now.
Yeah.
Or is it really just a lot more injuries than normal? You know, because I look up, I'm like, dang, this guy injured. And I look up, then you turn on it, you know, your sports, or you look at your feed on your phone.
Yeah.
Dang, so-and-so injured.
Yeah.
Do you look again? Dang, he injured, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like compiling injury after injury.
Yeah.
And so it had to do with the short season.
Yeah.
I don't think it's conditioning, because they seem to be, you know, conditioning.
Oh, conditioning's fine.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not worried about the condition of none of these players, because all these teams are scoring minimum 100 points.
Right. so I mean, I don't know. Is the way the game being played? What is it?
You know what? Now that you say that the game's being played, I mean, you really think about it. If you're not, if your team doesn't have at least 2 to 3 shooters that can shoot outside, you're not winning.
Right.
So it definitely, with the NBA, is more of an outside game,
right,
than it used to be inside. So I mean, that may be a contributing factor. Right. I don't want to say COVID is involved in none of this. I don't think so.
I mean,
in my opinion,
I'm not the way that, I guess. So, like, if you look at stuff like a Cam last year, you know, you can say maybe COVID contribute to this horrible play.
Some people might say that. I just think
see what I'm saying. There's a difference between a decline in play and his cognitive ability was off.
His whole game was,
you know what I'm saying? Gone. He just looked like he was just totally gone. It was like if he was here before COVID
in the first 4 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? Because usually, like, say if you here and you decline, it goes here and slowly. It's like he went here to right to the basement. You know what I'm saying?
Just drop.
Like he was throwing passes in the dirt. I was like, bro, what is that? Was my man. And I mean, just some of the stuff he was doing.
I mean, that's not a surprise, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying that just seemed horrible. I mean, it just seemed like from here to all the way down.
No, trust. I get what you said.
But like, do we look at what's going on in the NBA? I don't see that kind of
drop.
So I won't say that it's COVID.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, you never know. No, because you know you keep hearing new things about COVID anyway every day, so you never know.
Yeah, we'll discuss COVID on the I.O.W. podcast. I still got my own thoughts and feelings about that whole vaccination shit, but you know, we'll leave that to the other show. Right. But I mean, with Kevin Durant, I mean, I'm looking at this game. I'm just like, well, damn, that just throws my whole theory out the water.
Right.
But let's look at it this way. So let's look at the East in general right now. You know, we
Embiid.
Yeah. I mean, Embiid is crazy because he'll get hurt, he'll miss time, but then he'll come back, and the Sixers are still in good standings,
right?
And then he comes in and have a monster night, but then he'll get nicked up again, and then he's out the lineup. So it's like
you need to do like AD did. Just sit out,
just sit
You only got like less than 12 games now, so
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea because they're not going to slip to that play-in tournament.
Yeah,
down
they're
to
gonna
the
sit that far.
I mean,
they're good enough to stay in a pretty good position.
Yeah, because you're 2 right now.
Right.
I think the most you'll slip is maybe 4 to 5.
Right. And so, I mean, I would just like, man, just don't even worry about it. Just wait till the playoffs. Get healthy.
But I mean, but let's look at the East. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody used to say, "Oh, the West is so strong. The West is so strong." Now it looks like the balance is starting to even out, and
it's getting there.
And yes, and I will say maybe some of it is due to injuries. I mean, because if you look at the Knicks and the Hawks, where they're sitting at,
right?
You put them in the West, they're sitting right with the Lakers and Denver,
right?
And teams around that area sitting. So it looks like the power shifting is starting to look a little bit more equal. You can contribute that to injuries, of course. You know, AD still trying to acclimate back,
right?
Of course, Bron, you know, probably like a couple of weeks out. He'll probably come back like the last 4 or 5 games left in the regular season just to get the rust off.
Right.
But I think he's more closer to returning than any other star. But I didn't even see KD just coming back out of the blue. It was like, KD's returning. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, KD does what he did. I'm like, oh, that changes everything that I thought about the East. So, I mean, look, of course, the biggest story, all you New York heads up top, they are going crazy right now. When's the last time you heard so much buzz with the Knicks, man? When's the last
time? Not since Ewing in them.
John Starks was still playing. Oakley,
right?
Allen Houston.
Yeah, that's the last time you really heard about him. Johnny Newman for a minute when he was there till he got traded. So yeah, I mean they had that's the last time I really heard about a buzz around the Knicks.
Yeah,
you know. But I mean, I think it's good for basketball when big market teams like the Knicks and the Lakers do well.
No, you're right.
You know, especially with the Knicks because they just been sucking for so long.
And oh my gosh,
that's you know, for them to have such a big market,
you being real friendly with that one.
I'm saying, but for them to have such a big market, big payroll, be able to pay somebody, it seems like they couldn't attract nobody to come there.
Yeah,
for a while.
They lost out on Kyrie. They lost out on KD.
Yeah, it's like, we ain't going there.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think Kyrie and KD would have went to New York if it wasn't for Dolan.
Well, that could be.
He just some of his antics is just like,
I'm good.
Really, bro?
He about to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, we gonna go to New York, just not the Knicks. But I mean,
it's not going to Manhattan.
Not Manhattan. We gonna go to Brooklyn.
Right.
But so the Knicks literally are on fire right now. The story of the whole NBA. I mean, not in a row, bro.
Yeah,
not in a row.
Right.
I mean, I don't say what you want, who they play, whatever, but they win. And you know, I don't know how they managed to get this quick turnaround in such a short time.
I'll say this though: the good thing about the Knicks now, for their organization, is that now that they're looking good and they looking, you know, like they playing well and probably will make the playoffs. That may attract other players to come in the coming years.
Yeah,
you know, because they want one or two pieces away to compete highly in the East. You know, not just be like a 4th or a 5th.
Yeah, but
like contending for that second to first place.
Yeah,
spot. If they keep playing like this and get a couple pieces at it.
Yeah, of course, the biggest piece that the cog that's got that locomotive going in New York is, of course, Julius Randle.
Right.
I mean, I think we've all been agreeing. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started on that, because and I blame Magic for that one, because when he was player personnel and all that, and I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Drafted Lonzo Ball.
Right.
He did draft Brandon Ingram. Got D'Angelo Russell in there. And got high picks, and none of them on the roster.
Right.
Got Julius Randle. Of course, he had that gruesome leg injury, but still, it's like, come on, like, you know, pieces that are doing well or in the teams, and I'm like, you should be purple and gold, but you know,
Right.
I digress.
Right.
But Julius Randle is having a phenomenal season.
Yes.
You know, literally playing out of his mind and just being biggest thing, he's been consistent all year. All year. You know, always been able to account for him to make the big plays for the Knicks.
Right.
We'll see how this story goes with the Knicks. Of course, we'll see if they can go for win number 10. They do have a very, very tough matchup with the Phoenix Suns tonight. Of course, coming off that thrashing to the Brooklyn Nets due to KD coming and just blowing people's plans up. So,
right.
well, you know, I'm not going to say the win over the Suns legitimized your streak, but it's a good win. You know, I'm not going to say it's a finals preview because I don't see the Knicks or the Suns making it to the finals, but you never know. I mean, we've seen stranger things.
If you live in Arizona, New York, you would.
Oh, yeah. You know, of course, you know, having those franchises believing in, you know, by their cities, respective cities, of course, that, you know, that's what they're going to think. But, you know, let's be realistic. Let's you know, kind of, you know, put the wraps on that. But, you know, I think tonight's going to be a good measuring stick for both teams.
Right.
Because especially if you're Phoenix, if you can beat the Knicks, you know, but they didn't really get their ass handed to them by the Nets, but you know, you didn't win, but you know, you can start comparing what you could possibly see if you make it to the finals,
right?
Because you know, I'll go on the record and say that the Knicks are a legitimate contender in the East now. I mean,
you can say that. You can say that. I mean, you can say they one of those teams that right now where they playing, you might not want to see them in certain situations in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, the way they're playing now, they can keep that up. They can be one of those teams that if you sleep on them, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's just the next big.
Yeah.
We that's a win.
Yeah.
And you down 3-0 in the series.
Yeah. I don't think you can do that. You can't do that no
right.
more.
So I think like I said earlier, they're a few pieces away for being a legit 1 or 2 seed in that conference.
Oh yeah.
In the Eastern Conference.
Legit.
You know,
you get no argument.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's good. It's good for the Knicks. It's good for the NBA. Because they, like I said, they've been forgotten about for so long, and then when Brooklyn got their big 3, it's like, they got another team.
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
and I forgot to mention about this with the Nets. Spencer Dinwiddie hadn't even played all the majority of the season,
right?
You know, and of course we'll get more in depth on the James Harden injury in the further weeks.
But you know, with a lot of injuries, because at the beginning of the season, you know, there was some clear runners of MVP.
Yeah,
you know, you're gonna believe it's gonna so and so. No, James Harden MVP, LeBron MVP,
Joel
MVP. So now the way Steph is playing,
oh my gosh,
and with the injuries,
oh my gosh,
and then you got and LaMelo was gonna be Rookie of the Year.
Oh
too.
yeah,
so
that was a no brainer,
right? So with the injuries and the way Steph is playing, is there a clear MVP with Steph?
Honestly,
or can you count out those ones I mentioned before because they've been injured?
I'll say this, and I need everybody to understand where I'm coming from.
Understand this nigga.
MVP to me, most valuable player.
Okay.
So to me, when you throw in the V part of that, valuable, as in worth, value, importance to me. That's what that means to me of a player and what they mean to a team.
Okay.
So I can easily say Julius Randle could possibly be MVP because let's be honest, Julius Randle off the New York Knicks right now.
Okay.
He's that valuable to that team, to their success.
You can argue that.
Yeah. Even Steph. I mean, you know, so the fans in New York was chanting, "Oh, MVP to Julius Randle, he's on the free throw line." I get it. So, in my opinion, I think you have to put Julius in that bucket. Boom.
Okay.
All right. Steph. Let's be honest. First of all, the month of April, the man is going nuts.
Right.
All right. Look, the man has shot a record, beat James Harden record of dropping 83 threes in a month. In a month.
All right.
And the crazy thing is, Warriors still got 2 more games left in the month. So he's about to shatter that record.
Right.
So again, valuable. Take Steph off the Warriors right now.
Okay.
I mean, valuable. You can't.
Vince said Chris Paul.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I'm not going to agree with you. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you, Vince.
Mm-hmm.
I am 100% an advocate of putting Chris Paul in that conversation, not because of stats.
But see, here's I think with when you deal with mainstream commentators and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think they get enamored by
the stats,
not just the stats, but the what's what I want to use, what they see. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that, when you see teams like let's say when they was mentioning Hart, no, the Nets was winning.
Yeah,
the Nets was looking strong, you know, so everybody was like, "Oh, he's the clear one. He's the clear one." But you know, when you look at Phoenix, they just kind of chugging along steady. They lose a few, but still chugging along steady. You know, so it don't look pretty.
It may not look
pretty, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people
effective, man.
I understand. So a lot of people downplay the value of Chris Paul,
which is foolish to me.
You know,
it's foolish.
They give him his props, but they don't really hype him up like they hype up the rest of the players. But if you look at, like we had mentioned before, when he go to teams, he elevates the player.
He elevates the team.
You know what I'm saying? He elevates the team. So he's
doing it again.
Right. So
this is 3rd team in a row.
But you don't even hear his name mentioned when it comes to MVP.
And guess what? The people that don't mention his names is usually fools. All right.
Right.
Fools.
So that's my biggest thing when you talk about when you look at MVP. So go back to the teams that you mentioned. If you take these particular players off of teams, how would those teams look? If you take Harden off the Nets, then that's still winning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Who else was mentioned? Say Julius Randle.
Yeah. When
you take Julius Randle off that team, how does the Knicks look?
Oh, I don't even want to imagine what the Knicks will look like.
You know, if you take Steph off the Warriors.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the Warriors, of course, it's a down year. They've had injuries.
Right.
I get that. But with these new rules, with the play-in tournament, you're still in there.
But look, I mean, let's take a step further.
Yeah.
If you take Steph off the Warriors, they're not even watchable.
Oh, no. Not,
you know what I'm saying?
Not even.
They're not even watchable.
Not even.
Going back to Vince's point, if you take Chris Paul off the Suns, what they look like?
They look like the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
of old. That Phoenix Suns team in between Charles Barkley and this year.
Right.
That's what they look like.
So it's kind of baffling me why they're not mentioned in the MVP conversation. You know, I don't understand. I mean, why not they, but why Chris Paul is not mentioned in the MVP conversation?
Yeah.
You know, it just baffles me. But that's how mainstream is. They get caught up on somebody drop a little sound bite and everybody grab their coattails and ride it.
And
so if you say James Harden, that sounds good. And every show you turn on, they talking about James Harden. You say KD, everybody grab that and they talking about KD.
And they run with it. And I get that. Because the biggest names is what's sexy,
right,
I guess.
Right.
But to prove my point, Julius Randle, very important to the Knicks. Steph Curry, very important to the Warriors. Chris Paul, very important to the Phoenix Suns.
So let me ask you this question.
Even Jokic.
Oh, Jokic.
Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets. He's very important, especially right now, knowing that you're not getting Jamal Murray back.
Right.
At all.
Right.
Very
his name has been mentioned a couple of times.
Well, but he deserves it because not only has he been very important to just the Nuggets, his numbers are there too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's getting double-doubles just about every time he walks on the court.
Right.
So he has the numbers and the importance of the value of him to back up his name being in that pot.
But so let me pose this question to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
if a player, let's take Embiid for instance.
Yeah.
As great as his play has been, does injury mess up his chances for being MVP?
Oh, most definitely. Because
but going back to the original definition,
okay, I got you.
He's still valuable.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
But the team's still winning without him.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You know what? I don't know the reason why it is like that, but the team is still winning. So Embiid has missed his time. Philly has only stayed at either position 1 or 2 the whole year in the East. That's with Embiid missing time.
Right.
So yes, you're important, but if your team is still, in great position and still winning without you, and I'm not saying it's his fault that he's not.
Oh, you can't do nothing about it.
You just can't do nothing about it. But I mean, the team is still still in a great position. They're still, great in their odds to be a top team in their respective conference.
Right.
So I mean, unfortunately, I'm not going to take Embiid off that ballot. Because when he is on the court, his numbers show and reflect that he deserves to be in the conversation. But I mean, but if you're talking about value, his value is slightly decreased this year because the team is still successful without him. I mean, that's just the circumstances. It's weird to say that because it's easy to say that Joel Embiid is important. Of course, he's very valuable to the team. But I mean, if the team's success is kind of diminishing your value this moment in time, then that's just what it is.
That's what it is.
That's just what it is.
So what about LaMelo and Rookie of the Year? Does his injury take him out of the conversation of Rookie of the Year?
Now that's a tough one. Because you can easily say, oh, Anthony Edwards deserves it. But,
yeah, he came on kind of late. He started off kind of slow.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? And LaMelo was looking good.
Hot. He started hot.
He's looking good and stayed hot until he got injured.
Yeah.
So is it fair to take him out of the conversation because he got injured?
Well, I mean,
let me let you finish the part.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it does. You can't do nothing about injury. No. There's nothing you can do about that.
No.
But if a person
maybe personal little things.
Right. But in general.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? But if a person looking great up until his injury, you know what I'm saying? Is it really fair to take them out of that conversation because they got injured? Now, if they got injured at the beginning of the year, I can kind of understand it because you don't know what that year would have looked like
if they played the full
year. If they played half a season, or 3/4 of a season and get injured, is it fair to take them out of that conversation? Because you've seen a good, you got a good sample size of what they look like that year. When you get up to half a season or more, you got a good sample size of what they look like.
You got a good idea what they're going to transition to.
I mean, it's highly unlikely. It can happen that you got a quarter of the season left, they're going to totally just bottom out.
Yeah. That's a possibility.
So is it fair? I just use him as an example, but I'm talking about in general now. Is it fair to take people out of that conversation of any kind of Rookie of the Year MVP if they looking strong up until that injury?
I'll say this.
Okay.
In my opinion, Anthony Edwards was a clear-cut second choice as Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Since LaMelo has been out, I can't really say that Anthony Edwards has just blown that conversation out the water.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he hasn't really like played out of his damn mind that, there's no doubt. If
LaMelo was playing, he would surpass him.
Yeah. To me, there's just no doubt that, his impact will be greater as Rookie of the Year or his. In my opinion, I just don't think Anthony Edwards has just locked down Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's 2 weeks left. I don't know if LaMelo is going to make it back in time for the rest of the season. But of course, we don't like to live in hypothetical, but hypothetically, he comes back for the last 2 weeks of the season and he picks up where he left off.
Right.
And if that happens, there's no way you can give that to Anthony Edwards.
Okay. Vin said, You can't do that. You can't do that, Mel. In that case, LeBron's still MVP top candidate. And I'm just raising this question. I'm not saying right or wrong, but I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess my thing is, even LeBron's case, if he's playing to that degree up until, I'm talking about the timing. So, like LeBron injury, we wasn't at halfway point.
Okay, but
we went at the halfway point.
But I got you right here.
Uh-huh.
LeBron, you could throw his name in with Embiid situation.
Yeah, well, because either or though.
Because look, we know LeBron's his value. Mm-hmm. We know his importance to a franchise.
Right.
We know that.
Okay.
But the Lakers still ain't out of it.
Right. But and I'll throw this in too.
They went from 2 seed just
I'll
to 5.
Throw this in too. Look at the play of the Lakers without AD.
I got you.
And then now without LeBron.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I'm not saying either or. I'm just posing the question for sake of discussion.
Yeah.
But like to Van's point, if LeBron played 3/4 of this season,
majority, he has played majority of the season. Yeah.
Now he's hurt. If he was a clear front runner
at that point,
but
he wasn't though.
So you got a good sample size.
But he wasn't.
I'm just saying if he was at that point.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
If he's blowing everybody out the water, 3/4 into the season's over with. You only got a quarter season left. Why would you take it from him?
No, you bring up a fair point.
I
all I'm saying is I understand your theory and where you're in the point of conversation where you're going with it. It's just that at the same time, Joel Embiid and LeBron, both of their respective teams, have still managed to stay afloat without them. And with the Lakers' point, without Bron and AD.
Right.
Now they didn't look the greatest.
Right.
But they won game here. They may have lost a game here, but they won game here. But they may have lost game here. But they're still floating.
I guess my point with Embiid, I was not really Halibreed. I'm about to mention the 2 names again, LeBron and Embiid. I didn't have Labreed. Embiid to me, because of his in and out, he was not a close MVP candidate for me.
I'd have put him in the conversation. I wouldn't have given him.
He could have been in the conversation, but if I had 5 players, he'd been number 5.
Okay, that's fair.
Because you can't see where he is valuable to that team.
If it was the Heisman Trophy race, he get invited to New York.
Right, he get the invitation. He get to wear the suit that day. He not walking out with the trophy. You know what I'm saying? But
I hope you like New York,
right? Like New York, get you a Nathan's hot dog, nigga, because you ain't getting this trophy.
Dirty dog.
But I think with his injury in and out, it was hard to get a good
glimpse
of what he could be.
I got you. That's fair.
But I'm saying one injury, playing majority of the season, and if you're looking good, can you really take that title away from somebody? That's just my question.
I got you.
Now I'm not pointing any particular person out. I'm just raising it as a discussion about the MVP or Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah.
If someone's looking good up to a certain point.
Yeah, I got you.
Is it fair to swipe that from them?
And to your point,
unless there's somebody now you got 2 players that's neck and neck.
And that goes to my point with LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. Because
you got a point there, Van. I give you that.
To your point, I would keep it with LaMelo because I don't think Anthony Edwards has done anything to just blow anything out the water and just say, "Oh, Anthony Edwards is Rookie of the Year."
Right. Van said without Embiid, Philly don't get past the second round. I agree.
Oh
yeah, I agree.
No arguments.
And that adds to his value
in that moment.
To that situation. That value of that team. So that adds to his value.
Now, can we talk about this? NBA needs to do their awards after the finals because
I guess the reason why they do it, but go ahead.
Hear me out.
Go ahead.
So when Greek Freak won his MVP, Milwaukee didn't even come close to the finals.
Okay.
What Steve Nash won his MVPs. Of course, we know what the Phoenix done. They didn't even come close to the finals.
Right.
to me, if you're so valuable,
Mm-hmm.
like show your worth, not just in the regular season
Mm-hmm.
when you're just trying to get into the position of getting to a championship,
Right.
but show me your value and your worth when it really matters.
Okay.
So that's why I think the NBA should take all their awards and move it back after the finals, or at least up to the finals.
Okay.
Because even if your team, even if you're in the MVP race and your team makes it to the Eastern Conference Final or Western Conference Finals, to me, you still show value that I can still get it done.
Okay.
But I'm kind of leaning towards after the finals.
Well, I think reason why they do it that way, so you get a regular season award and then you get a playoff award.
Then if they do that, I'm cool with that.
Because he knows how you get somebody to they get the finals MVP.
Yes.
So I think that's why they do it.
I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that. If you separate them, regular season and playoffs, I'm totally cool with that. Because not always your regular season MVP. Sometimes they are like what Russell Westbrook when he won went to Oklahoma City, one and done.
Right.
Got bumped out right in the first round or something like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, that kind of it doesn't taint your MVP, but I don't respect it as much. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel that it 100% legitimizes your MVP award.
Okay.
You know, especially if you're not even getting close to the finals. Like, what are we doing? You know, I just feel that way.
I agree, man. I agree. You know, but like I said before, I think that just looking at some of these teams, you know, Brooklyn looks hot when KD came back, like you mentioned.
They just threw
AD came back. Lakers don't look so hot.
Oh my God.
And I know I heard some people say that you know, he waiting to get acclimated and all that stuff. But I'm like, bruh, you need to hurry up.
It's two different things.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's literally night and day what those two teams look like when they getting people back from injuries. Like, literally, I'm thinking when when the Lakers get AD back, I'm like, all right, we about to pick the ball back up, start getting it cracking, and then AD's return. I was just like, And then the second game, it was like, a little bit better. But,
but how you blow a 17-point lead, bro?
Man, come on, man.
You know, a 17-point lead. You gotta win that game.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And then you lose by double digits. It's like, we spot you 17. We're gonna take that 17 back. You know what I'm saying?
Plus mo. Plus mo.
Right.
But just
can't. But yeah, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like Brooklyn look hot, man. They just looked as the hotter team. And New York look hot too, but I'm just saying.
Hey, low key, Atlanta Hawks look all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that because Trae Young's having his little injury, little situation, and I'm thinking that might be the end of them. But
yeah, you're right.
But Lou Williams, I mean, is a respectable, guard in the league, and he's helped manage to keep the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, they're right there. Only reason why they're not tied with New York Knicks is because the Knicks have the better divisional or conference record.
Right.
So that's why, because they got the same overall record, but New York has a better Eastern Conference record. So they're ahead of them. So, I mean, the East is starting to really, you take their top 5 teams, they're starting to look comparable to the West. So that scale of balance is starting to even out. I mean, now, quote, getting closer to the playoffs. Is starting to balance out. So I'm actually excited to see what's going to happen with the NBA when we get closer to the playoffs. These last 2 weeks, it was pretty much just jockeying. And then of course, teams 7 through 10, they're doing their own jockeying too. With this whole little in-playoff tournament. I'm still not a fan of this shit, but whatever.
But man, you know what else look hot though, man?
Man, say it.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh my God.
He looking good.
I gotta say this. Now, I love baseball. I watch baseball. You saw me. I was watching the Tigers Royals game coming into the studio.
The Tigers don't look hot.
No. Yeah, we just y'all.
I saw.
But if you're not a fan of baseball, if you get a chance to see any 2 teams play together, watch the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the San Diego Padres.
Big brother, it's
little brother. Yeah, no, literally, it reminds me of Michigan State in Michigan,
right?
Because Michigan powerhouse for years,
Mm-hmm.
and as somehow Michigan State starts getting some wins, start feeling good about themselves. This is almost the same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but this rivalry kind of started back last year. They met in divisional game in the playoffs, and then they had a hell of a series. But they met, I think, twice already this year. So this past weekend and the weekend before that. And every game is literally coming down to the wire.
Right.
And you're getting fantastic games. You're getting fantastic matchups with pitchers versus hitters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love this Trevor Bauer versus Fernando Tatis thing.
Right.
Because spring training, Trevor Bauer, he's feeling cocky. He's shutting the eye while he's pitching.
Right.
And Tatis took him deep.
Mm-hmm. And he ran out of base.
I love that. I love that. And I got to say this about baseball, and I'll get to Fernando Tatis in a second. So what's been crazy about marketing baseball is that they tried for years to market Mike Trout. Mm-hmm. Mike Trout.
He just don't have that personality.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, he's
phenomenal player. Phenomenal player.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not into the showing, and he's the type of cat that'll hit a 500-foot home run and he'll just drop it back, make his Trout across the bases, touch home, and he'll celebrate with his homies in the dugout.
Right.
Fernando Tatis,
he's a showman.
He's a showman. Mm-hmm. It actually started with Bryce Harper.
Right.
Now, Bryce Harper, they wanted to market him, but the only problem is with Bryce is his value depreciated because his numbers start coming down. Mm-hmm. And then once he leaves the Washington Nationals, the next year they win the World Series.
Right.
So it was like, it wasn't us. It must have been him. It damn sure wasn't him.
Right.
So, to me, that depreciates his value. So now you get young stars like Tatis coming into the league, and it helps MLB because he's a person of color. Mm-hmm. He is of Latin descent, but his game is backing up his showmanship.
Right.
The man hit 5 home runs in 3 games. Mm-hmm. Really? So Friday hit 2 home runs off of Clayton Kershaw, who's one of the best pitchers in the league. Comes back Saturday, hits 2 home runs off of Trevor Bauer, another top pitcher in the league.
Right.
Hits a home run last night. It's like, at some point, I'm thinking, like, don't even pitch to this dude. Like, just
Barry Bonds.
Just don't. Hey. Yeah, go ahead.
Stand up.
Yeah. Oh.
Go right here.
Take your walk. Take your walk.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Take your walk. And I watched last night's game. Oh, hell of a game. Hell of a game because
man, every game they played this year been good games.
That's what I'm saying. Been
every game they played.
Entertaining.
And I think one it started to become a Yankees Red Sox type.
Almost. I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting that vibe. I am definitely getting that vibe.
And if they keep this up, because Red Sox and Yankees are down.
Yes.
No.
Red Sox suck. Yankees are down.
Right. I mean, but the Red Sox still not as great as they were.
No, not to the mystique that they were. Yeah, I got
you. That's what I meant by that. Okay. But the Yankees are down.
Yeah. They down.
Right. Now. But but I remember back, especially before the Red Sox beat them.
Yeah.
Man, you couldn't wait to watch those games because you knew it. First of all, you knew it was going to be good games. Mm-hmm. Second of all, for a Red Sox fan, we gotta get this win.
Just want to beat the Yankees.
We just want to beat the Yankees. Yeah. And I think for me, because that's the Yankees always been my second team. Mm-hmm.
Second team, man. Second team.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's been my second team.
One of them niggas with second teams and shit.
Well, because of the Michigan connection with
Jeter.
With Jeter.
I got you. Okay.
That kind of thing.
I guess I'll let you slide.
Then they always had, players that you like,
I feel
Reggie Jackson, going all the way back to Reggie Jackson.
I got you.
Dave Winfield.
Okay.
I
guess I'll
stuff like that. Darryl Strawberry, right. The Snowman.
Mr. Snowman.
and then you can go all the way down the line. They always have players that you can like, oh man, I like so and so. Some people hated those players when they went to the Yankees, but since they wasn't my home team, I didn't care.
I got you. I got you.
But anyway, I think the series for me was better when the Red Sox didn't win. It's like it seemed like when the Red Sox won,
Yeah.
it wasn't as great to me.
Okay.
Because the thing was like watching them go between with their tails between their legs every year, but it built the mystique for next year. It's like, okay, let's see if they can win this time. You know what I'm saying? Then once they won, it's like, okay, you won.
And that's what I love about this series. So the Dodgers win the World Series. They beat the Padres on the way to getting the championship. And then, you get this stuff with Trevor Bauer in spring training, and then just literally like they're having this fun animosity. And it's captivating to see. But one thing that's really tripping me out about baseball is these new rules that they're implementing to speed up the game.
Right.
So there was two things that I saw over the weekend. So of course, with the great comeback for the Padres, they were down 7-1, and then they storm and end up winning the game. But so I guess in extra innings now, the last batter that made the last out, the inning before it, automatically starts on second with no outs. And I guess it's a way to speed up the game. I get it, but I kind of don't.
Here's my thing about baseball. Here's my thing about baseball.
It's because it's so traditional. Why
baseball is not football? Baseball is not basketball.
No.
Like with football, they made it more offensive friendly so you can speed the game up. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Basketball, with everybody with shooting the threes and stuff like that.
They want to see 3 points.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes sense. With baseball,
it's what's sexy.
Right. But baseball, because of the way the game is played, speeding it up kind of takes away from the game.
Yeah.
In some ways. You know what I'm saying? And especially the things they're doing to speed it up.
Yeah.
It takes away the games. You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't speed it up in
I will say this. I do like the kind of chess match you got to play as a manager with that rule. I do like that aspect.
Right.
But still, to me, it's like, because baseball's been such a traditional sport, it's like, why mess up that tradition of like, if you want to win the game, make the plays. So, that was kind of weird for me. And this whole double header thing is weird too. It's because now they're saying if you got a double header, it's not 9 innings, it's just stopping it at 7. And you got pitchers like Madison Bumgarner, who no-hits the Atlanta Braves, through 7 innings, won't get credited for a no-hitter.
Right.
In that aspect, I'm like, why though? That if the man no-hit the team, it's a no-hitter.
Regardless, we played 3 innings.
Yeah.
No-hitter. You know what I'm saying?
Because by your rules, you saying, because it's a double-header, we're going to play 7. All right, I did my job. I no-hit him. Give me credit for no-hitter.
Right.
But they're saying because it's not 9 innings, it's not a no-hitter.
That's crazy. That's how baseball is, man. Baseball always been crazy.
Yeah.
I do like the rule they implemented during COVID.
Okay.
With the pitchers batting on both leagues, American and National League. I like that. I think the pitchers should bat, period.
I think so too.
Because
if
he's a player.
Yeah, he's a player. If you want to win, go hit.
I mean, he should hit. Regardless if he batting 125, he should hit.
They don't want Bumgarner hitting because
they don't want him
because that boy can hit. I've seen him rake. I seen him get 2 home runs in a game before.
Yeah.
So Bumgarner can hit, but crazy weekend with baseball and basketball. But really, what stole the show this weekend from all the sports, UFC put on a hell of a show down in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. The first time they had
house
packed. Bro, and I know there's some COVID cases.
Niggas leaving out with COVID. Nigga, you get a t-shirt, a hot dog, and some of that COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, they was packed in there.
They were packed up.
They was packed in that bitch.
That's Florida.
Hey, but hell, because Florida's wide open. But I'll say this: some great knockouts.
Yes. Even the women.
Yeah, the women was what's her name? Thug Rose. She go by Thug Rose. So Rose Namajunas. She beat up who did she beat up? I can't even remember who she beat up, but
I seen it, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
somebody else with a crazy name.
She got a first round knockout. The Asian woman. I can't remember her name. It was like Zane
Sakia.
Yeah. No, she knocked her out.
Yeah, she
smooth
did.
out. Valentina Shevchenko, she got a knockout. They was over there knocking heads.
Boy, they say Thug Rose, baby.
Yeah, hey, Thug Rose was in there thumping though. She was in there. So 2 of the ladies put on absolute knockouts. Of course, knockout of the night. Boy, that boy Kamaru Usman,
Yeah.
the Nigerian nightmare.
You know what? Let me say this. It's not a get off your chest thing. Well, everybody comes from Nigeria. Why they got to be Nigerian Nightmare? Come up with a unique name. You know what I'm saying? Krishna Okoye, Nigerian Nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because I mean, it fits him that he's a Nigerian Nightmare because if anybody that follows UFC, Cat's been avoiding Usman.
Right.
He's been a nightmare to Cats in the UFC in that division. I mean, when you got a quality opponent like Jorge Masvidal, the first matchup they had,
never been knocked out.
He dominated him. This matchup didn't even make it out the first round.
Second round knockout.
Was it?
The second round knockout.
Either way,
yeah,
he ain't never been knocked out before.
Never. And you saw the sweat come off of him,
bro.
It was like a video game,
bro. When the sweat hopped off my man's face, I was like, oh, it's done.
Oh yeah, he was gone.
His eyes was shut. And then you saw he kind of bumped into his shoulder, and then he was out before he even hit the canvas.
Yeah, he was like,
and you know those little other punches was just
he got that nigga a hot toddy. That nigga all the way out.
But of course, you know, with the unfortunate stuff with UFC, Chris Weidman, that was gruesome. That was nasty. That kid
looked like a noodle.
He didn't even know that it was snapped till he tried to plan on it, and it just buckled.
Yeah, just like
yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah. It did look like a
it wrapped around a pole.
And the crazy thing is, Chris Weidman 8 years ago, Anderson Silva kicked him, and the same thing happened to him.
Right.
I don't know if that's karma, but because you know you really can't have no control of that. But it's just ironic for sure that 8 years later, he's the one throwing a kick, and that was pretty bad to look at.
I want to say this about Usman.
Yeah,
he looks great. I'm not taking nothing from him. He looks great. But one thing about Usman, I want to say, nigga, we doing the show, stop calling me. Is that one thing I didn't like is sometimes when he led with that right, he ducked his head.
Not seeing what he's hitting.
Yeah, it's like, and not only that, you know, somebody might catch him, man.
No, honestly, you just gave somebody the blueprint. If he's gonna go in with his head down and he's swinging, uppercut.
Catch him one of them knees, like what's his name did
Jorge.
Yeah, Jorge did, my man.
Yeah,
I can't think of his name. The one that lost to Jake. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was Askren.
You know, you catch him because Askren led with his head. You know what I'm saying? And he caught that knee.
Ooh.
I mean, so it's like that's one. You know, I heard him say after the fight. You know, he's steady working. You know, I was like, work on that.
Yeah, work on that.
Work on that. Great fighter. Not taking nothing away from him.
He's beatable.
Huh? Yeah,
he's beatable.
Right. Everybody's beatable.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But work on that. I think that's what one weakness I saw. I was like, why he keep putting his head down like that?
Now we'll see what happens because I think he'll have the rematch with Kobe Covington. Of course, Kobe Covington was Mr. Trumper. You know, I don't mind Covington being a Trumper. I just think that was just him playing show. You know, to build up the fight. But Usman dominated. I don't want to say Usman dominated him that fight, but he ended up getting a knockout later in the fight in the fifth round or something like that. But I'm excited to see that one. That rematch. So, but Usman, he's beatable. Like you said, everybody's beatable. But for right now,
he look good.
He's a Nigerian nightmare. Just one quick little piece of news before we get it off our chest. Of course, Women's Hall of Fame basketball coach Kia Moki,
and the one playing with that mask.
Yeah, playing with her mask. She'll be playing with her mask now at LSU instead of Baylor. 3-time national champion. She is a native of Louisiana. She did play and coach at a time at Louisiana Tech, but she trades in Baylor Bears for the LSU Tigers. I mean, a big move for her.
I wonder if she's doing that because of all the stuff that happened
with Baylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, it may not be made this offer some money, but when I saw that, I was like,
but why go to LSU? LSU got their own little athletic department. They got to get situated with the whole Les Miles situation.
Yeah,
they got their own little issues. So you know, to me,
she don't seem that bright, anyways.
But no, I just wanted to
still shut up and dribble shopping coach.
But I mean it's a huge shift in the women's basketball game for sure. I mean, she gets the top recruits.
Yeah.
You know, if they're not going to Gino Auriemma, they were going to Baylor. So, you know, now it transitions to LSU. But
we just follow and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But it's that time of
that show.
It's that time of that show, bro.
Holla at your boy. Little ass nigga.
Say it with your chest. Now look,
Here
we got the draft coming up on Thursday.
Right.
And I'll say this. I think this is going to be the most interesting draft in such a while because, you know, it's already written Trevor's going 1. You know, looks like Zach Wilson at 2. After that, it's what the hell ever happens. So I think it's probably going to be the most dramatic draft in forever. Now, we talked about it a million times, but over the weekend, I got the hugest headache when Ian Rappaport, who is a well-respected insider of the NFL, tweets and says that with the 3rd pick overall, the San Francisco 49ers have narrowed it down to Trey Lance, quarterback, and quarterback Mac Jones. Oh my gosh. Oh my damn goodness. I thought we were done with this shit, man. What are we doing? You don't go up to the 3rd overall pick to get Mac Jones. I know people, they want to say, Mac Jones he does this well, he does that well. He's, you know, sneaky athletic. Fuck that. Because look at the history. Here's my problem with quarterbacks that come from Alabama and Ohio State. You get players that had the proverbial pretty much safety blanket when it comes to football.
Okay.
You get these guys that are literally surrounded by the best of the best at their position on one college football team every year. Quarterback is protected by the best offensive line, has the best offensive weapons at tight end and wide receivers and running backs, and then protected by all-stars on the defense. That's what happens when you get Alabama and quarterbacks and Ohio State quarterbacks.
Okay.
They've been protected. You don't get that same protection in the NFL. You don't get all pros on your offensive line from left tackle all the way down to right tackle. You don't get all pros on wide receiver and tight end. You don't get an all pro running back, and you damn sure don't get an all pro defense. That safety blanket is gone. You know what happens every time a quarterback from Alabama and Ohio State goes to the NFL? They get exposed.
Joe Namath won a Super Bowl.
Hey, man, don't you do that. Don't you do that. We ain't going down that route no more, my nigga. We ain't doing that no more. But goddamn
it was always Mark Sanchez.
Oh my God. Can we stop with this?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
with this Mac Jones shit. Come on. Am I missing something? Why is Mac Jones' name keep coming up with the 3rd overall pick?
Because Mac Jones fits that prototype that they like in the NFL.
And he gonna get exposed.
And I think that's one of the reasons why he keeps getting picked. I mean, his name keeps coming up.
Gonna get exposed. I'm sorry. I just don't. Look, if he goes to San Francisco, look, Trent Williams on the left tackle, all pro. I get that. But the rest of that offensive line is not all pro-ish.
Ish.
So, I mean, look, if San Francisco wants to go get him, then go ahead. But you're not upgrading from Jimmy G and saying Mac Jones is the best. And if the rumors are true, they're going to keep Jimmy G and Mac Jones is going to learn from him. You're not going to learn what? What are you going to learn?
How to stay hurt. How not to play.
Look, San Francisco, y'all be foolish as hell to go get Mac Jones. Y'all might as well go get Mitch Trubisky. Oh, no, he's in Buffalo. Yeah, he's back up. You don't go to the 3rd overall pick to pick a backup because that's all I see written all over Mac Jones is backup. I'm done. Fuck out of here.
Say it with your chest, little ass nigga.
These niggas.
Mine is going to be very brief.
Mac Jones, my ass.
So I know I mentioned this before, but I've been watching and listening to different little sports commentators, and they're talking about the Jake Paul and Ben Askren fight. And the one thing that keep coming up is like, they'll say, yeah, but Jake Paul's taking it serious, and he's taking it serious. So here's my thing to that. If he's taking it serious, you can't just go with his training and say he's taking it serious. He needs to take it serious in its totality, which means he either fight people seriously,
serious competition,
get some serious competition. Stop fighting your granddaddy.
Bombs.
Stop fighting people, from a whole different sport that don't even know anything about boxing. Stop picking a nigga off down the street and off the corner to fight. Fight real boxers. If you really serious about boxing, fight real boxers. Stop handpicking. Stop choosing people who you can beat. To me, you just being a bully. That's a bully. That's what bully do.
A money grabbing bully.
Bullies pick on people that they know they can beat. So you're just being a bully. So when I hear people say, "Oh, Jake Paul's taking it serious," look, he's taking it serious. Look at, what I say to that?
So you can miss me with that bullshit.
Miss me with that bullshit. Miss me with that bullshit.
And I'm finished.
Little ass nigga.
Hey, facts though.
Right.
If you really taking it serious, go get some serious competition.
Get some serious.
Yeah.
I'm tired of him. He taking it serious.
Yeah.
He ain't taking it serious.
Nah, he ain't taking it that serious.
He's just trying to hit a lick.
Yeah. He's been doing a good job of hitting the
licks. I ain't mad
about
about
that part because he getting paid.
Right. But don't come with that he taking it serious, man.
Last time I saw
you miss me with that.
Last time I saw it, I think they did like 1.3 shares on that pay-per-view. Did like 75 million.
Yeah.
So money grabbing bully.
That's all it is. That's all he is.
Anyway, we had come to the end of the show. Great show, big brother. Great show. Appreciate everybody.
Notching closer to number 50.
Yeah. That was number 48, 48 in the building. So look, appreciate everybody tuning in, interacting, always. But look, God willing, come back. Episode 49 Thursday. It's your boy Wildcard Mar. You know who that guy is, Detroit Mail, I.O.W Sports. We are out the building. See y'all Thursday. Peace.
The I.O.W Network.